Coach, Josh, and Dustin Hopkins.
All right, injuries. Holsey has a knee sprain. We'll get him an MRI. And Ty Anseki aggravated his knee. That's been bothering him a little bit.
Jay, a quarterback who hadn't started in 7 years just won a really huge game for you. Do you just kind of shake your head at what just happened there?
Yeah, when you have a quarterback issue, so to speak, it just got here, you have to play great team football. Other than the 2 plays at the end of the half on special teams, our defense kept us in it and just did enough for us to stay close. And then Josh made enough plays, and people around him made enough plays to get the victory. So total team effort, but hats off to the defense. They played hard today.
Jay, when you guys have had so many things go against you in the last month with injuries and all that, what was it like to see the break that went to Crowder that set up the game time?
That was nice. That was nice. I called that one. And, it was a heck of a play by Crowder, great concentration, but it was great to see a play go our way. But really, he made it. It was a tip ball, and he contorted his body. Great concentration, great catch. Those things do happen from time to time. Challenge the receivers a little bit to make the big play, and Jameson took it upon himself to figure out a way to make one. But he's been great all year, so hats off to James. Great game.
For Josh, what did he do there in that second half that kind of lifted the offense?
We stayed in some positive down and distance. I didn't try to force the run down their throat because they were really, really, really hard to move. We're trying to get some inside zones going, try to get some outside stuff, and Calais Campbell and Darius and the rest of the linebacking crew they have pretty darn good, and we didn't get a lot of movement. So I think being a little bit more aggressive on first down, some nakeds and some play passes and a quick game, I think helped out a lot.
Jay, what would you say was the difference between the defense in this game versus the past 4 games? This looked like the opportunistic defense of old here today.
Yeah, again, I think if you look at the time of possession, I'm sure even in the first half when we only had a field goal, I think we had a couple drives and we kept them fresh. And then we opened up the third quarter with a 9-minute drive and kicked the field goal, or 8-minute, I think. And that goes a long way with saving their legs and keeping them fresh. And then they got to do the rest. They got to get off blocks. They got to pursue. They got to tackle. With the exception of the last drive before the interception, they played extremely well. And then Fabian made up for by getting the pick.
Jay, you seem fairly optimistic during the week, despite everything that's happened. I mean, how do you kind of convey that to everybody and keep everybody going into the game like this?
Well, I believe we still have enough good players to be a successful team. It's our job as coaches to get the most out of them, put them in the right spot, and then try to protect some of our deficiencies because of injury. But it can be done. I've seen other teams do it. We just got to continue to do it. I still have a very solid defensive line and linebacking core and defensive back room, and got a good receiving core, good tight end group. Just got to work together and play together.
Jay, your thoughts on still being in the hunt for the division crown at 7-7?
Yeah, we're excited about it. It's 2 games left. We have a short week. Go to Tennessee, which is a good football team with Mariota, and I know they're well coached by Coach Vrabel, and be a great challenge for us. But to be this late in the season and have a shot, it's a tribute to a lot of the veteran guys who have been here and some of the rookies who have stepped up.
Josh, today, how did you feel overall that he played?
He played good. He played really good, actually. He missed a couple things, which really, to be expected. We had some pressure early and didn't get a couple of shots downfield, but the second half he stuck with the plan and made some plays outside the pocket with his legs, which was outstanding. And what can you say? We just came to Jacksonville, beat the Jaguars, and he was a big part of that.
Jay, I'm sorry. Michael, do you want to go first? No? Okay. So then you said you got away from the running game earlier on, but that last drive especially, Adrian Peterson just had holes galore. Even with Anseki out, what was it that was happening in the last drive that wasn't happening on the other drives?
That's a great question. I was trying, once we caught the pass, Adrian caught the pass, got close to field goal range. I was going to try to work some clock a little bit, hit a couple runs, and Adrian ran through a couple tackles and made some big-time runs. We ran an outside zone hit and play, and he made a great cut. And we stretched the defense, and he made a great cut, and I think ran through a tackle. And then the last 4 plays, we just ran right up the gut, and we got on some blocks, and he made some great cuts and made positive yards and kicked the field goal.
We saw some new looks from you today, fullback, a couple running backs. What was it like installing those on the short week and making sure they'd be comfortable with it?
Yeah, I think we've had the fullback runs in since training camp. We worked on them, but we haven't used them because we didn't have Flanagan or Holtz up. And Flanagan got in there and I think got a good taste of NFL football on his first play. But he did a good job. Hats off to him. He's been great on the practice squad. I'm glad a guy like that gets rewarded. We tried some stuff with Byron in the backfield and Chris Thompson just to get some different looks. And Josh with some zone reads. So it was fun. It was fun stuff to call. A lot of them had a success, but trying to give the defense something different.
You guys seem to go back to more of your traditional offense in the second half, though. Did you like the results that you got with the newer stuff, or why did
Not
it
really.
disappear?
I mean, we had some good stuff. We had decent looks. We just weren't getting anything. You know, some of these inside zones where you're trying to read and pitch and all this stuff. If you hand it off, you got to get a little bit of movement up front in the inside, and we weren't getting any. They were spiking the 3 technique and spiking the end, and our tight ends were having trouble holding on. If they weren't sifting, our tackles and guards were having trouble. So we got back to a little bit more of the traditional stuff, but we still had a couple elements there late. You know, Josh kept one for about a gain of 9 down in the red zone and had a couple keepers off of it. So it worked out good. It's a good element to have.
Jay, what were your thoughts on the punt return for a touchdown? It seemed like there might have been a guy who tackled a lead blocker as opposed to the guy who was carrying the ball.
Is that what happened? What happened?
It looked like didn't look like Byron Marshall tackled the guy, the lead blocker, and not
Was it a
the.
good form tackle?
He got him pretty good. It was a good
You know,
two-inch shove out of bounds.
Those guys on punt, it's a scramble drill, man. They make their block, and then they're hauling butt down the field, and they're looking for the ball, and they can't find it. And this guy looks like, you know, that's just Byron's, you know, little inexperience of that. But at least he tackled somebody. But that was unfortunate. You know, we should have, you know, really hindsight. You know, when you're back there, you just try to punt it, get a high skyrocket, and make him fair catch it, or punt it out of bounds. You know, Tress had one of his launch balls that he got all of it. I think we were a little concerned with the pressure that we were getting early. He just wanted to get it out, and he got all of it and outkicked his coverage a little bit.
A couple of things. First, I wanted to ask about when you have that happen right before half, the way things have kind of snowballed recently.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that do to you going into halftime? I mean, it's got to be a.
It was tough. You know, I think the defense realized they were playing pretty good and we can get stops. And offensively, I think we left some things out there. We saw a lot of good things we could get to, and we're getting the ball to start the second half. So it wasn't the end of the world. And it was very important for us to start the second half and have a positive drive. And we did that. We had an 8 or 9 play drive. We had up 7 or 8 minutes, and we kicked the field goal. So we're right back in it. And our defense just kept going, and the guys kept playing and ended up winning at the end.
Yesterday, you guys made a number of roster moves, including choosing to keep Byron over Capri Bibbs. What went into that decision?
There's a lot, really. You know, we've had Byron since training camp, and I had Capri. I love them both, really. I like them both. And P. Ryan, you know, hasn't got an opportunity yet, hardly at all. We want to keep him around. He's really Adrian's backup. And then Byron's really Chris Thompson's backup. And we had a package that plays with Byron and Chris. I've been very intrigued by Byron's skill set for a long time. He just hasn't been able to get that opportunity, and I think the more he gets, the better he's going to be. But you could really go either way there. I think they're both very good players.
Thanks, Coach. No Dustin. Get Dustin in the locker room over in Josh over when he's stressed. Okay. Peterson. Coach, he's in the locker room.